This is part 3, examining this discussion of Tim Keller and John Piper on sanctification. Let's continue.
There's a place in the Institutes, which I read 2 nights ago, because I've been reading them at night, where Calvin said, because we're so blind that we should obey God just because of the beauty of the good. You'd like that term. Mm-hmm. But because we're so blind, God actually has to give us rewards and punishments. And he then says, by the way, this is book 2, chapter 7, he says, we actually are debtors to His Majesty. Now here he's talking about the fact that we just owe Him everything. He says, the payment of a debt deserves no reward. Therefore, he shouldn't have to say, if you obey me, I'll bless you and do things. And yet he gives up his right. Now, see, he uses the term debt there, and you got to take a look at that at some point. And he doesn't say debt to His grace, debtor to grace. He says debt to His Majesty. But then he says we should just be doing it out of the beauty of who He is and what He is. In the gospel, I see the beauty of what He's done for me, which is His love and sacrifice. Just as His Creator, I see the beauty of His holiness. And that should be what I mean when I say owe Him. It means He deserves it. I want to say He deserves it because of the beauty and the greatness of who He is. Now, the trouble with the owe thing, I agree, is it looks like He's done something and I have to pay Him back. Yeah. Rather than say, great music deserves praise. A noble deed.
Just stop there. Keller, just stop there. Stick with that. Great music deserves praise. Great salvation deserves praise. Focus on that. Great salvation says, I'm going to fail tomorrow 1,000 times. Praise you, Lord. I am forgiven, bought with a price once for all. That's how I can approach every day. If I had to approach every day with this mentality, I would be a basket case. I don't know how people do it. Well, they don't. They don't. I've been there. I've lived in that mental, psychological environment. I've lived in it. And it is so terribly destructive. I didn't obey God any more when I believed in lordship salvation and lordship theology than I obey Him now. I didn't. There's no difference because God isn't counting numbers. If God started counting numbers, what does He say in Psalm, I think it's 130, He says, if you, O Lord, should mark iniquity, who could stand? Well, these guys are arguing for progressive sanctification in behaviors. If you should mark violations of your law, if you should mark a transgression, who could stand? Read it. If you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, who could stand? If He decided, God is not in the numbering business of transgressions, folks, because if He were, we're all doomed. He's not about, this person only violated my law 5 times, which is absolutely preposterous to even think of. This person, but let's hypothetically say, this person only violated my law 5 times today, but this person violated it 50 times, and therefore, according to Piper, that was repeated practice behavior. They must not be saved. There's your psychology. That's the psychology. It produces judgment, but it also produces this horrible angst inside. He won't tell you it. He's not going to tell you. Sometimes he tries to get it out there in some sort of, trying to resonate with others or make them feel like, wow, he's got problems too. But you heard what he said. People, this stuff is so dangerous to your psychology about yourself and your psychology of superiority toward others.
It just attracts and evokes praise. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to get at. So
Right. But two things are in my mind, Jocelyn, for which one should come out next. One is to clarify how to help people not go the wrong route of O.
Yeah.
And the other is to lean on what you mean when you say it's debtor to His Majesty, or it's just sheer fitness to respond a certain way.
That's a better word.
To beauty. That's Edward's language.
Yes. It's fitness, otherwise you're not seeing
Let me go
who
to the
he
first
is.
one, and if I remember,
Okay.
I'll come back to the next one.
I like fitness better than debt, by the way.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it.
So
I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't even know what they're talking about. It's just, again, it's wordsmithery. They're not being authentic with each other's hearts. You see, I would think, what a perfect opportunity for these two giants, supposed giants in the Reformed world. I think, I'm not sure I think one's a Presbyterian, one's a Baptist, but they're giants in the Reformed world. They're giants. I mean, desiring God. It has some wonderful things in it. Meditations of a Christian Hedonist. Read it. It has some wonderful things, but man, be careful. Be careful. Test all things and hold fast to that which is good, because there's this underlying doctrine that resides in his brain, Piper's brain, that behaviors determine your salvation. Repeated behaviors even. You think about what you're repeating. Look me in the eye. I will look you in the eye. I repeat behaviors every day. Now, I'm not going to go into the gory details because I'd probably make you blush. And you know what? I think you'd make me blush too. If we saw each other's hearts and the areas where we are repeating behaviors, we would make each other blush. You say, oh, don't assume that. You're assuming that he's got a repetitive sin problem. I'm not assuming. I know it. I just simply know it, because that's the human heart. Careful, folks. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Careful. Wouldn't it be nice if people were just authentic? Can you imagine if these guys were just authentic? But no, they've got to maintain that pastoral posture, that pastoral authority. We've got to present ourselves. You know, I loved it when I had my discussion with Tullian, and he spoke about this guy that came to seminary and said, never tell your parishioners about your struggles. You know, never communicate your struggles. And we both agreed it is such hogwash. It is such hogwash. It doesn't mean, again, that we go into the gory details. And part of the reason I think for that is because we do have different areas, different vices that we struggle with. And the nature of the human heart is, if you're disobeying in an area where I am successful, well, I might think, oh gosh, man, you know, here's this guy, oh, he's struggling with sex with a goat. Whoa, you know what I mean? Whoa, well, that guy's struggling with pornography. Oh, that's pornography, sexual immorality. Well, this guy's struggling with alcohol. This guy's struggling with drug addiction. Whoa, you know what? Quite honestly, I would love it if a pastor came along and said, you know, I'm addicted to opiates right now. I'd love it. You know, where do you draw the line with how much you divulge? I'm in agreement that we need to be careful with the hearts of people. We do, because some people aren't ready for it. But I think what they are ready for is, I guarantee I sin as much as you do. I blow it as much as you do. But in the eyes of God, I'm pure and righteous and holy and blameless and without reproof. Colossians 1:18-22. You read that sucker and it just blows your mind. He says you're perfect forever, Hebrews 10:14. He says that we are holy and without blame before him. We are faultless before his throne. Faultless, folks. Their righteousness is of me, Isaiah 54 says. Let's continue.
When Paul says, by the grace of God I am what I am, and his grace toward me was not in vain, but I worked. Okay, now that's what I want. I think that's holiness there. Mm-hmm. I did good things.
we're going to continue this in part 4, and part 4 hopefully will be our last part. People, you can tell where this is going. You can tell where their mind is. This is the Reformation mindset because of progressive sanctification. By the way, progressive sanctification is not necessarily a Reformation doctrine. It's been around for years because the Zionists, the Jews, the Judaizers, infiltrated the church in Acts chapter 15 and tried to add things to Jesus. Little circumcision, little progressive sanctification, little behavioralism. Modification of behavior plus Jesus means you're saved. That stuff was introduced by the Zionists. Okay, it's a philosophy of self-righteousness. The Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, the disputer of that age, they crept in. So we'll continue this in part 4. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, NCMI LIVE. And if you've been blessed and strengthened in your faith through these messages, please consider supporting us at either www.patreon.com/NCMILIVE or scan one of the following QR codes: Venmo, PayPal, or the easiest way is through Zelle, which is an instant transfer and has no fees to the donor or the recipient. Our code is 928-614-0143. We appreciate your prayers and support.